Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining today's session. This is Jason from Yeastar Training Team. Glad to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for your time. And we're gonna have our session 3. So let's just jump in. Same as usual, if you have any questions, you can jump in anytime. All right. Make sure you guys can hear me. Make sure everything's all set, and we're about to get started. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna jump into this P570, exactly the live demo I'm gonna take. So today we're gonna talk about the call features configuration on the P-Series PBX. Let me just close this. Okay, here we go. As I mentioned, we're gonna talk about the call features configuration on our P-Series system. Now, I guess the first thing I'm gonna talk about here will be the call control settings. Have a check here. We have one more feature left, which is gonna be emergency number. This feature, it really matters. It really helps. It's a very important feature on our P-Series system. To be very honest, this emergency feature, emergency number feature, uh, we don't have to do anything about this part, to be very honest, because this is actually a special service provided by the carrier. So if you truly want to get the emergency number feature works, then you're supposed to purchase the emergency number from the carrier. As I mentioned, they will provide you such a service like this. They will definitely charge you additionally, but this service, it helps a lot, especially for emergency situation. So here's the deal. As we know, if we try to make an emergency call to the public security center, well, if there's no any special service, we're just going to show our company caller ID, the phone number to the public security center only, right? So which means the police officer or anyone who's in charge, they will be able to figure out our company caller ID. That's it. But it doesn't make sense, right? We're supposed to show them our company caller ID. We're also supposed to show them our company location. That's exactly what we're talking about. All right. So this is gonna be the emergency number. In talking about this, I guess there's also a name for the emergency number for this particular service in the United States. Just an example, which is E911. If you guys know it, it's called E911. Well, I'm pretty sure this service is available everywhere. All right, you can find the same solution in any other countries, but probably we will have different names. But in the United States, it's called E911, enhanced 911 service. Exactly the thing I mentioned. So they will be able to figure out your company location. So this is going to be that particular service, as I mentioned. So that's why we need an emergency number. We're supposed to enable the service. We're supposed to purchase that particular service from the carrier because it's very important. According to the local regulation, probably this is also, you must have it, right? So this is the first deal. Another deal we can have with this emergency number feature is going to be this. As we know, for our P-Series system, according to our configuration, if you try to make an external call, whatever it is, whatever the number is, you're supposed to follow the outbound route. So still remember, in the previous session, we've been talking about the outbound route. We have a very particular dial pattern, right? Maybe number 9 or number 8, anyway. But it doesn't make sense for emergency calls. If this is something bad happens, something emergency situation, right? Something urgent. Anyway, we're supposed to make this emergency call directly to the public security center rather than we need to enter some feature code or dialing code anyway. It doesn't make sense, right? So, but according to our configuration, the outbound route takes the first priority. Definitely we're supposed to follow it to make this external call, right? However, like I said, if this is going to be the emergency situation, we're supposed to make this call directly, right? So we're supposed to take the first priority for this emergency number rather than go through the outbound route. Then what we're supposed to do is we will need to add a particular rule for the emergency number. That's it. So you can simply name this one. For example, you can name it as public security. Anyway, you can just name it as this. Then drop your emergency number. Maybe it's 911 or 999, 888, whatever. Drop the emergency number here. And then here's the deal. The thing I mentioned, E911 service, right? That particular service you get from the service provider. So you're supposed to go click on add here, select a very particular channel. Depends on the service provider. They might probably enable this service on your analog channel or maybe your digital channel. Depends on them. Let's see this one. Then we will drop this particular caller ID here. And this is exactly the caller ID you get from the service provider. And that caller ID is totally registered with your company location. So next time, if you make that emergency call, to the public security center, they will be able to figure out your company caller ID. They will also be able to figure out your company geographical location. That's it. And as for here, emergency outbound caller ID priority, we give you guys two options. We have trunks emergency outbound caller ID and extensions emergency outbound caller ID. It depends on us. Mostly we're just going to show the trunks emergency outbound caller ID. That's enough, right? So we're just going to show this phone line number. However, sometimes we want to make it be more specific. We want to show the police officer, people who's in charge, just want to make it be very particular, like which extension exactly made that emergency call. That's what we want. That's what we want to make it clear. So we can choose extensions emergency outbound caller ID. Then back to the extension settings. You guys still remember? Drop that particular outbound caller ID with that particular extension number. So we'll be able to make it be really specific, really particular. Okay, so this is about the emergency number. Generally speaking, for let's say if this is going to be the solution for the states, for the United States. So wrap up, we can support E911. We can also support Carrier's Law. That's it. Okay. Now for other areas, definitely it's just the same thing, but probably we will have different names for it. Okay. So this is going to be the emergency number. Now, let's keep going with our call features. So next one we're going to talk about here will be voicemail. Have a look. So voicemail, this is the place for you to have a little bit of customization for the voicemail preferences configuration. You can also configure your group voicemail as well. Now, here's the deal. Group voicemail feature, it's supported. Now, what is the group voicemail? The group voicemail, it will be very helpful for some circumstances. For example, like if we have a service center, we have a call center, we have a queue. Let's see, we're going to use the queue feature for the service center, or we're going to use the ring group feature for a bunch of agents, right? Or maybe you just want to enable the group voicemail feature for a bunch of agents together, right? Like a couple of sales reps. We probably want those guys getting the same voicemail from the customer side. Then we can just use the group voicemail. So here's the way how we configure it. Go click on add. This is the way how you add a new one. First thing here is going to be the type of your group voicemail. We have three options. We have ring group, queue, and custom. So if you choose ring group or queue, that basically means we're going to apply this group voicemail feature for that particular ring group or a particular queue. As you can see here, you can make your selection. All right. I'm going to talk about more details about our ring group and queue later. Okay. And you can have one more option here, which is custom. Means I'm not going to apply this one for any of my, queue or ring groups. I just want to create a particular one for this customized group. So we can choose custom. That's fine. So you have the number for this ring group, not a problem. The group voicemail. So we can just give it this way. Then we're supposed to name it because probably you're going to create a bunch of groups there. You want to make it be clear, so name it. It's very important. All right. Then we will have mode here. The mode for the group voicemail, we have two options. We got a broadcast to members and shared by members. So what's the difference? The difference is if you choose broadcast to members, let's see, I'm also the member of this group voicemail, just an example. So if I choose broadcast to members, that means all of our agents, we're going to get a broadcast. So the point is, if I read the message in advance, then for other users, it really doesn't matter because this is kind of like a broadcast voicemail, right? So any of our agents, they will still be able to see the new message notification. That works on every single one of them individually. It's just a broadcast to make sure you guys get the message, right? However, if I choose shared by members, that's totally different. That means we're sharing the same group voicemail. So if I took the voicemail first, if I read it in advance, then for other users, the new message, the new voicemail notification will be disappeared because we're sharing the same one and I took it. So absolutely, the notification will be disappeared because this voicemail has been handled. That's it. So that's the difference. Be careful with this. All right. The next part will be something basic like voicemail ping authentication. It has been enabled, so you can use the access PIN code to check the group voicemail, just like the way how we check our personal private voicemail. It's exactly the same way. We can also choose to enable something else like a play date and time, play caller ID, play message duration. Those are something very fundamental, but we can just enable them as well. Just like I mentioned, exactly the same way how we customize the personal voicemail, private voicemail. It's also like this, right? So this is about the basic configuration for the group voicemail. Now let's just keep going. Then one more step here, which is very important, is going to be the members, right? Because this is the one we created particularly. Then we're supposed to select our members in the list. So select the members. Like I said, you have a bunch of agents that are going to share the voicemail or get the broadcast mode, whatever. Make your selection here. So just like what I did before, this is how it works. Then that's the one we have here will be group voicemail grading. I'm pretty sure you guys already know the voicemail grading, right? Now this is just going to be the grading for group voicemail. So we can do the same thing. We can customize it. Means we can record something by ourselves. Like I can record something like, hey, how's it going? Please leave a message followed by a pound key or whatever. It's just fully customized by ourselves. We can have some sort of personalization for this, right? Then later on, just don't forget to go click on save and apply for it. So this is the way how we configure it. All right, the group voicemail. And the next one we have here is going to be voicemail settings. Like I said, not a big deal, just some preferences customization. So you can have it. Caller options, for example, allow callers to press 0 to break out from the voicemail, allow callers to dial extension, ask the callers to press 5 for leaving a message, allow callers to review message. Anyway, those are optional. You can make your own choice here. All right. Then here we have some other settings. For example, like message options. Max message time will be 120 seconds by default. So if you want to leave a message there, make sure it's under 120 seconds. Minimum message time is 2 seconds. So whatever you want to talk there, make sure it's over 2 seconds, right? Then grading options, it's just the same thing, right? You want to record something for the grading, but make sure this grading is under 60 seconds. Absolutely. And you can absolutely set one of your custom prompts there as the global voicemail grading. You can use the default one or you can customize it, change it as you wish. So this is fully under your control, not a big deal. Okay. Then we're going to keep going. The next one we have here will be auto cleanup. So auto cleanup, I guess, is not a big deal, but it's very important. It really matters because sometimes, this is voicemail, so it will definitely take our space, right? Take our storage space. So we're supposed to check the auto cleanup. So here we can just go click on auto cleanup, and we're gonna go access the storage settings, which is gonna be here, auto cleanup. So here's the place actually for you to set everything, not just the auto cleanup for voicemail. This is also the place for you to set the auto cleanup for everything, like CDR, voicemail, recording, system backup. Everything can just make it work here. So this is about the auto cleanup. Okay, now let's get back to our call features, back to voicemail. Okay, so that's it. That was all about the voicemail setting. Now let's keep going. The next part we have here will be feature code. About feature code, I don't think this is something we need to talk about. We don't even need to talk about this. This is basically like the place where we can check our feature code. So if you want to manage your system with feature codes, you probably want to have a check there. So you check this place. Now you can change those feature codes as well, but usually we just keep the default one. That's okay, right? That works for all of us. So we can just use the default one for some basic operation. Okay. The next one, the big deal, IVR, interactive voice response. This is a big deal. It really matters. And by the way, the IVR is everywhere. You can find IVR everywhere. For example, if you guys make a call to Yeastar, pretty sure you guys will, pretty sure you guys will just go through our IVR first. All right, so that's just the IVR, right? Interactive voice response, or auto attendant, right? So how do we configure the IVR? Now here's the deal. The IVR, the architecture of the IVR I guess this is kind of like a pyramid system or a triangle system. Okay, so basically means we are gonna create a particular structure. Follow this, like just think about this. Give you guys an example. Let's see we have a particular IVR with 3 levels. So the first level is, thank you for calling Yeastar, right? This is greetings. This is like the first level. Then you're gonna go to the second level. So the second level of this IVR will be, for English service, please press 1. For Chinese service, please press 2. Give you 2 options, right? So you follow the instruction, you follow the prompt, keep going to the next level. So the second level means the second level is going to be language options according to my example here. Then the third level will be this. If you press 1, you go to the English service, right? Means everything will be spoken English. Now you will hear another prompt. For sales information, please press 1. For tech support, please press 2. Now if you press 1, you just go for the sales information, which is going to be the sales department. Now in this example, that will be the final destination of this IVR, right? So that's why I mentioned this is like a 3 levels IVR. So this is just the whole architecture, like I said. Think about it. It's like a triangle system. It's like a pyramid, right? So if this is like a pyramid, then everything's clear. If you want to create an IVR, such an IVR like this, then what you're supposed to do first is you're going to get yourself be ready with the final destinations in this IVR. So in my example here, we have 4 destinations. You know, English service gives you 2 options, sales department, tech support. Chinese service gives you another 2 options, right? Sales department for Chinese service, tech support for Chinese service, right? So this is exactly what we're looking for, right, for this IVR. Now, what we're supposed to do is we're going to create the final destinations first, just like I mentioned. So we can actually get everything be well configured at the very beginning. Now, in this example, the final destinations are tech support, sales department, right? So we can probably just create ring groups or queue, right, as our sales department or you know tech support. So in this example, we can basically just go check on ring group. Like I said, we can use ring groups, right? So I'm just gonna give you guys an example. See this? This is something I created before. I got a sales department for 6300, tech support for 6301, and also Chinese service for sales department and Chinese service for tech support. You guys can see this in Mandarin, right? So this is just like I said, the preparation work. So you can probably just create a ring group as an example, right? I'm gonna give you guys an example. So you can name this one, set the ring strategy for it. It's pretty simple because we only have 2 options. You can choose either ring all of your agents simultaneously or ring them sequentially. Depends on you. All right. Then what we can do here is we are just gonna keep going. Just keep going for the next step. So next step, we're gonna have this. Take a look. Ring timeout. Ring timeout will be 20 seconds by default. So that's okay. I guess we can just keep it this way, right? Timeout will be 20 seconds for every single one of our agent, right? Then keep going. Then we're gonna select our agents, right? So who's gonna be the guy in the sales department? Make your selection here. And after that, you can also set a failover destination. So I want to simplify this. So I choose Hannah, save it. And we will just do the same thing for the rest of them. So this is exactly the preparation work I mentioned. Now we're just going to keep going to the second level of the IVR. So the second level of our IVRs will be English service and Chinese service. Now we just back to the IVR, we create Chinese service and English service separately. That's what we need. I'll give you guys an example. So this is the English IVR. So we create this one. First of all, I want to show you guys the result, the final result. You go check on key press event. So you see this? Press 1 for sales information. So we press 1, we go access ring group. Destination is going to be sales department, right? Press 2 for tech support. It will be ring group of our tech support. Quite clear, right? Now for other keys, I don't need to define anything there because they're invalid for me. So I will just leave it empty here. Then response timeout and invalid key destination. You can also make your own customization here. So the very common way for people to do this is, I guess people probably just want to create an infinite loop. So they will just choose this particular IVR which is English IVR again. Then if you reach the timeout or if you press something invalid, we're just gonna play this IVR again. So that's like an infinite loop. Sounds funny, but that's just the way how we're gonna handle this, right? So this is a very basic way how we configure the IVR. All right. Now, of course, we also have some other features. Let me explain you later. Okay, now let's see the question. Here we got a question. Question is, can an IVR option be programmed to dial an outbound telephone number? Okay, good question. I'm gonna show you guys here. See, if you want to define a very particular number or particular number, let's see number 3, to somewhere else, the answer is, let me show you here. The answer is yes. All right, you can make the IVR configuration be as your internal destination, but you can also make it be as your external number, which means your outside contacts. That's also supported. All right, so check on this, guys. We have so many options. You can choose extension, email, hand up, ring group, queue, group voicemail, dial by name, anyway. And the next one would be this, external number. So the answer is yes, it supports it. Okay, thank you for your question. Now we're back to the basic settings. Now we're just back to the basic settings, all right? Back to the basic settings. Now for the IVR configuration, you might probably have different prompts, right? That's something important. You're definitely gonna create a prompt by yourself, right? So how can we customize that? Back to the basic settings here. First thing, you're supposed to name this IVR, absolutely. Then secondly, you're supposed to select the prompt, and this is gonna be the custom prompt. You guys still remember? Custom prompt is something you're supposed to record it by yourself. You can choose to, you can choose either to record a new prompt by your extension or upload a prompt if you already have something. Depends on you, right? So the prompt for the IVR is definitely customized by yourself. Like you guys make a call to Yeastar office, you will hear something like, thank you for calling Yeastar, instead of thank you for calling Coca-Cola, right? Just an example, right? So this is totally recorded by yourself. You're supposed to customize it by yourself, right? Then we have something else, prompt repeat count. Default configuration 3 times. We're just gonna play this prompt for 3 times. Pretty simple, right? Then response timeout will be 3 seconds. If you never change it, that will just be 3 seconds. So we're gonna wait you for 3 seconds. Then we have a digit timeout, 3 seconds as well. That means we probably want you to enter a bunch of numbers through this IVR. So we only give you 3 seconds to finish it. So if you dial if you dial some numbers, a bunch of digits, you just wait there for over 3 seconds. Then the system will just take whatever you've dialed as your final result. Okay. Got a question here is, can custom greetings be recorded at a device by a dial code process? Dial code process. You mean like use the feature code to record something? I think that's what you're asking, right? Okay. For feature code to record a prompt, let me just have a check. All right. I don't remember it. I think we need to have a check here. Check on the feature code. I guess as far as I know, we don't support such a thing like this. But anyway, let's just have a look. So in feature code here, we have basic settings. We have recording, voicemail, call transfer, call pickup, call parking, intercom, queue, speed dial. Yeah, I'm sorry, we don't have it. We don't have that particular option for using the feature code to record a prompt. I mean, this is not like the analog system. I do believe on the analog system, you can do a thing like this. On the analog, traditional analog PBX, we can do it. But on our system, our solution is we would like to ask our customers to use our web client. So individual users, if they have the user permission, they can log into their web client and they can just handle all this based on the web browser. That's the solution we have on the P-Series system, okay? By the way, thank you for the question. Thank you for it. Okay, now I'm gonna keep going. So keep going with the IVR, something left here. One more thing here will be the IVR alert info. Alert info, I think we mentioned this in the previous one. It's just a distinctive ringtone. So if you want to have a particular ringtone on this IVR, well, you can just drop the ringtone name over here. So you will hear something special. All right. Then we have dial extensions. This is not that popular, I guess, but it depends on us. If we want to enable this, that's okay. So our customers, if they reach this particular IVR, they can choose to call somewhere else, right? And we can also choose to enable dial outbound routes. So they will be able to use our outbound route for another outgoing call. It's not that popular, to be very honest. Then we can also enable dial to check voicemail, but I don't suggest you guys enable this because voicemail, it's about personal users' privacy. So if you truly want to check your voicemail, my suggestion is, hey, you got a mobile, right? Why don't you use your Linkus mobile client? That's totally under your control. This is good for your privacy. No one can mess up with your, your voicemail or something, right? But anyway, that's just a suggestion. So people, if they want to use the old-fashioned way, they will like to take this old school style, that's also okay. You can just enable it here. So they can still check the voicemail through this IVR. That's fine. So this is about the IVR configuration. Now, what we're going to do for the next step, for the rest of our configurations here, are quite simple. Get yourself be ready with your final destinations, then you put them together with one IVR. Then you just keep going until you reach the top side. All right. In this example, the top side will be greetings, right? So you just create a couple of IVRs there, put all of them together. This is like a combination, mix them together, create this pyramid. And after that, bingo, you will just use the final one, which is the greeting IVR, because this is the one which controls everything. Then I'm gonna set this one as my incoming call destination. And next time, thank you for calling Yeastar. We're just gonna play this to our customers. Okay, now let's keep going. Next feature, I think we can talk about queue directly because ring group, I think we already mentioned it. So we're gonna keep going with the queue feature. Well, queue feature is more advanced, absolutely. Comparing with our ring group, this is definitely more advanced. If you're running a service center, all right, I'm pretty sure you're gonna use the queue feature. A service center, tech support, sales department, you're gonna use the queue feature. So you want your customers to, stay on the line, step by step, one by one, and you also want your agents to stay in the line, to provide service to your customers. That's what you want, the way how we manage things, right? So we can use the queue feature. Have a look. This is something very fundamental, but it's very important. And also, by the way, our P-Series system supports call center solution. We got an inbound call center solution. That call center solution is totally based on the queue feature. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. Now let's just have a look first. Okay. First thing, something basic. Just have a look. So the basic settings here we have is going to be number. Absolutely, you will need a number for this queue, for this particular one. So we will have the number for it. Not a big deal, right? Then we're going to have name. You're supposed to name it. A service center, tech support, name it, whatever it is, as you wish. Then we're going to have ring strategy. All right, so you can choose to ring them all or many other options. Couple of options here, comparing with our, ring group. You can choose to ring the agent who get the list of recent call, or you can choose to ring the agent who get the fewest calls, or you can use random. So you don't even know who's going to be the next person get a phone ring, or round robin with memory hunt. So we're going to take an automatic shift among those users, or the last one, linear. So the system will just follow the available agent when they are in the queue, when they log into the queue one by one, then the system will just follow this priority to ring those members. Start with the first guy every single time. Linear, right? That's what it is. Then we will have music on hold. If you want to customize it, you can change it. If you don't, you can just keep what it is with the default one. That's fine, something basic. Maximum waiting time, 1800 seconds. So people, they make a call to this queue, they can wait there for 1800 seconds maximally. Failover destination depends on you. We have so many options there. So whatever you prefer, you can even hang up directly. All right. Then we have agent options. Agent timeout, 30 seconds for every single one of them, right? Rejoin interval, 30 seconds. That means If the previous agent, we just reached the agent timeout, right? Then the system will wait for 30 seconds again. Then we're going to ring the next one because retry interval is 30 seconds. I guess this is too long. You can probably make it shorter, but it depends on you. Then wrap up time, this is cool. We get a 30 seconds for every single one of our members. Our agents. So like if I'm the agent, when I finish this call, I just hang it up. I got a 30 seconds for break, right? I can just take a break during 30 seconds. Means that 30 seconds, no one's gonna ring me. All right, I can probably just grab a cup of coffee or something. Anyway, the agent announcement, it's optional. So if you choose to play something to your agent, you can actually upload it here. It's a custom prompt. Of course, we can also enable ring and use, but usually people, they just disable this. All right, they just disable this because not that necessary, to be very honest. If you enable ring and use, well, we're just gonna like if you're occupied right now, but we're still gonna wait for you. That's a little bit weird. Usually we just want to skip you, right? Because you're busy now, you're occupied. The members. Well, we have a ring, we have queue, we have service center. Definitely we need a bunch of agents, right? So we have dynamic agents. Be careful, guys. If you want to have a couple of dynamic agents in this queue, make sure you've already select them in the channel. Or, I'm sorry, in the list. Okay. If you never select them in the list, then none of them can work as the dynamic agent. All right. We don't support login as the dynamic agent by using feature code directly. You have to select them in the list. Then it means they have the user permission. It means they have the user permission to log in flexibly. Okay. Then static agents, absolutely, this is something so clear. If we select them in the list, then they're just gonna be in the list all the time. Static agent, Queue managers, so you can select a couple of agents to work as your queue managers as well. So they're going to be the guy who's in charge of the queue. So something we can choose to enable or disable like this. Notify manager when a queue call is missed, when a queue call is abandoned, when the SOA is lower than its alarm threshold, when a callback request is made, when a callback failed. Anyway, we can choose to enable them all or just disable them, depends on you. The next part will be preferences. Let's keep going. Basic settings, maximum callers in queue, 0. That means no limitation. All right, no limits. Queue alert info, again, this is a distinctive ringtone, like I said, right? If you want it, you just enter the ringtone name over here. So you will get a particular ringtone name if someone makes a call to this queue. Then leave empty, join empty, depends on you. Depends on the way how you're gonna manage your service center. So you can have a little bit customization here. Okay. Then we have callback feature. This is a queue callback feature, guys. This feature helps a lot. It just totally helps us to improve the user experience. So like normally, if a customer makes a call to this queue, all right, let's see, if this queue is quite busy today, then they don't want to wait anymore, so they can just hang up directly. Well, if they hang up, that means hang up. This call is finished, right? So next time, if they still need our help, they need to call us again. Well, once we enable the queue callback feature, that's much easier. If today we have a quite busy queue, we can actually trigger the callback feature for the customer. Makes the system will just automatically help our customers to reserve their position in the queue. It's like automatic reservation. Then once we get available agent, then our system will just trigger this callback feature automatically. So we're going to send a callback to the customer phone or landline anyway, automatically. That's queue callback feature. And as for the configuration here, we got two options. We can choose triggered by caller input. So we're going to play the prompt to tell them you're supposed to enter 1 or 2 to enable callback feature because we're quite busy. Or we can choose auto triggered after the timeout. Means when they reach the timeout, this queue callback feature will be enabled automatically. Depends on us. Then here we have callback outbound prefix. Depends on us because we're going to use our outbound route for an external call because it's callback, right? It's an external call. So if you have some prefix or something, don't forget to set it over here. The next one, SOA, Service Level Agreement. SOA time, default configuration 60 seconds. Evaluation interval 30 minutes. Alarm threshold is going to be 80%. Means we're going to calculate every 30 minutes, and we're just going to calculate exactly how many calls we have there and how many calls have been handled under 60 seconds. And we will show you the final result. If this is over 80%, great, you did a good job. Well, if this is under 80%, well, I guess just keep it up. That's it. That's the service level agreement. But this is customizable. You can make it whatever you prefer. Okay. Something else left here will be just some announcement. This is pretty simple. Announcement, I guess. There are so many types of the announcement, whatever it is. Don't forget to customize it by yourself back to the custom prompt. Record whatever you want. Then back over here, you can go click on the drop-down list, select the particular prompt you want to play that over here. That's what it is. Like a joint announcement. We can also play agent ID. We can play thank you for your patience prompt. Anyway, color position, we can also tell our customers when they jump into the service center. And periodic announcements could be anything. Like I said, it could be anything. You can even play commercials, play some ads. That's also fine. Whatever. Satisfaction survey if you need it. Don't forget to upload it here. Tell your customer to do something. So later on, you can check in the CDR. All right, then everything's quite clear. Then one more thing here will be key press events. Sometimes, if we're quite busy, let's see, we can give our customers one more option. We can just give them one more option. Hey, why don't you press number 0 if you don't want to wait there? So you can press 0 to leave a message. That's fine. That's totally fine, right? Then the last step here will be queue panel permissions. Like I said, we get managers, right? So you can also set the manager permissions here. All right, so exactly what a manager can do with this queue. You have your customization here. Or what an agent can do with this queue. You can also have a little bit customization here. Now, one more thing, guys. As for exactly how are we going to make use of this call center solution when I work as the agent or either the agent or the manager, right? Well, I'm just going to talk about that in the next session, because the next session we're going to talk about the Linkus UC client, especially the web client. So tomorrow, same time, I'm going to talk about this, the web client. Okay. Now, let's just keep going. So basically, that was all about the queue configuration. Pretty simple, I guess, so far, right? Now, keep going. The other features, I guess, are not that important, but it's very important. But it's very helpful for some circumstances. Kind of like some side features, like conference, right? So conference, not a big deal. Anytime you want to start a conference with a bunch of agents together, multiple concurrent calls, you want to have it, you can use a conference. Bunch of guys, they can talk with each other simultaneously, so we can use the conference. So you can choose to create an empty conference here, so people, they can join in, they can get out of the conference whenever they prefer. They can simply grab their phone, call this number, right? Or you want to make the conference be more specific, so you can set a couple of passwords there for participants or moderator. Anyway, so this conference will be totally under your control. Depends on you, right? So this is about the conference, not a big deal. It's like a side feature, I guess. Okay. Then another one, speed dial. Speed dial, it's much easier, I guess. This is also a side feature, but it helps us a lot. Like if you want to call a VIP customer, but you don't remember his number, well, we can definitely use the speed dial feature. We can drop his number over here, and we can set a particular speed dial code. Then when I press 2, I'm going to send a call to this VIP customer directly. That's it. Very, very simple, very easy, right? So next time, if you want to trigger the speed dial, don't forget to use the prefix, which is *89. Then you just enter the speed dial code. I guess the very common way for people to use the speed dial is by using speed dial feature bounded with function key. That's very popular. So you can even set the function key on your phone as the speed dial. So you simply press the button, send this call out directly. That's very old school, I guess. That's actually very old school, but it's very easy, very user friendly, I guess. Okay. Now, I guess one more feature we're going to talk about today will be recording. Just have a look. So once again, on the P-Series system, we only support auto recording feature. Be careful, we don't support one-touch recording. So auto recording feature is the only one we have. So here you can just enable this auto recording feature, absolutely. Now, the configuration is not a big deal. I guess what really matters here is going to be the prompt. Because for recording, this is something sensitive. You don't want to get any legal trouble. You don't want to get any, notification sent by a lawyer. That's not a good thing, right? We don't want to have any legal trouble. So what we're supposed to do now is we're going to make this be very clear, be very careful. Get yourself be ready with the prompts. Upload them over here. So next time, at least I've already notified you, hey, how's it going? This call will be recorded. If we're okay, stay on the line. If we're not okay, well, you can hang up anytime, right? So that's very important about the recording, okay? Let's see this question here is, can recording default external calls only? The default configuration, you got nothing there. You're supposed to configure it by yourself. Okay, that's a good question, by the way. Have a look. You're supposed to configure the recording feature and enable this by yourself. So if this is going to be external calls, you want to record it, so you're supposed to select the trunk. All right, definitely that's going to be external calls, right? External calls go through the trunk, so you select the trunk. That will be recorded. All right, and you can also choose to enable select some extensions. Maybe I don't want to record a particular chunk. I just want to record some calls go through this extension. That's fine. You select it over here, and you can also choose to record the conference. And one more option here is going to be the queue. You can also choose to record the particular queue, the service center, tech support, sales department. Anyway, you do have the flexibility to customize this call recording feature. It's fully under your control. All right. Okay, so I guess that was all we have for recording, and that was all we have for today's session. And let's just keep going with our questions. Got a new question here. Let's see this one. If selected by extensions, does that mean you can configure which extensions get recorded? Absolutely, yes, that's right. So if I select particular extension like extension 1000, that actually means in the future, any calls go through extension 1000, it will be recorded automatically. Okay. Now, guys, please take a look, see if there's any other questions, because I guess that was all we have for today's session. Tomorrow, we're going to figure out the rest of them. We will talk about mostly we're just going to talk about the web client. All right. Now, have a look, please, see if there's any questions. And same as usual, don't forget to check my handouts. All right. That letter is very important. All right. Check it. So get the link for the certificate. Let's see this question, another one. Does that mean you can prevent recording of certain sensitive extensions, buses, etc.? Here's the deal. If you want to record a particular extension, that's fine, because this is auto recording, right? Means the super administrator can control everything. Sometimes we probably have something sensitive. We don't want to record it. Let's see, I'm extension 2000. My identity is the supervisor. Probably I get this particular call. I don't want to record it. What now? Now, as the super administrator, he or she can actually set the extension user permission. You guys do remember. So we can even enable the user permission for individual users to choose to enable or disable the recording. That means I can have the user permission to pause this recording or restart this recording. That's what it is. That's the whole process, how we're going to use the auto recording feature for the entire system, and how we can make individual users get the user permission to control it. Okay, is that clear, guys? Yes, we can give user permission to individual users to pause it. That's right. That's right. Yeah, they can pause each call. That's fine. That's fine. But it just depends on configuration. Let me show you guys. I think you guys do remember the session 1 we mentioned this. You back to the extension settings. Check this. Back to the extension settings. And if you just want to enable the user permission for it, let's see, I got this particular one. Let's see, extension 1000. So we go click on edit, then we go check on features. Then see this one, call recording. You guys can check this, call recording. Allow the extension to pause or resume call recording during the call. See this one. You can choose to enable this for individual users, so they can just control the recording, even this is auto recording, but they still have the permission to do it. Okay. Thank you for your question. Now, well, guys, same as usual, I would like to collect some feedback from you guys. Please have a look. Now, you guys can also have a look there, see if there's any other questions. Let me know, please. Let's see this one. Do they activate the pause recording on each call they make them? It depends on individual users. Now, here's the deal. If we enable auto recording feature, let's say I enable the auto recording feature for the entire system. So if you never do anything there, so all of our calls will be recorded, right? Just an example. So for individual users, if they want to take a pause for this particular call, then first of all, they need to make sure they have the user permission to do it. All right. And then second step, if they want to pause the recording for this particular call, then they're supposed to pause it by themselves every single time. Like this call, I want to pause it, so I will use feature code to pause it. And next call, if I want to pause it, then I will do the same thing. I need to use the feature code to pause it. Otherwise, all of our calls will just be recorded automatically because it's auto recording. Okay. Now, guys, any other questions? This is another one. Let's have a look. Where do recordings get stored and how's filled up managed? Okay, so for call recording, we keep it on the external storage devices like a USB flash disk, hardware disk, anyway, SD card. And as for this filled up managed, we can go for here. Let me show you. We go click on system, and you can see here storage. Click on it. All right, click on it. And here you can set auto cleanup for your recording. Wait a second. This is gonna be storage, and we're gonna go click on auto cleanup. Here, recording auto cleanup. So you go configure it here. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are still seeing my poll here. I'm gonna close it. Just give me a second. All right. Sorry about this. Let me just close this. Okay, now back to my interface. Oops, back to my interface. All right, here we go. Now see this, guys? Go click on system, then you can go check on storage, go for auto cleanup, then you can see everything here for your call recording, auto cleanup. Can you guys see it? Now it's clear, right? Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the feedback. So any other questions, please have a look. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, so I guess so far we're all clear, and one more session left. So tomorrow, same time, I will catch you guys then. Have a nice day. Have a great day. All right, take care, guys. Catch you guys in the next one.